What is going on today, guys? AU here, and today we're bringing you the Week 4 battle of our National Showdown League Draft League. Now, I will say I have actually already done the battle. With the way my schedule has been, I have like coaching sessions with VGC, and schoolwork and all that. The way it played out for the battle, I'm actually battling on Tuesday, and I didn't have a chance to record the team builder before the battle. I've kind of just been rolling through a bunch of things, and I'm doing the team builder after the battle. But I guess you'll have to just stick around and see how we did there. But I'm going to still be talking you through my thoughts on what Pokemon I brought this week. You can see we're running 4 of the same Pokemon that we ran last week. We're running Lapras, Aegislash, Girder, and Flygon. The only 2 different things is we're running Ninetales and we're running Leafeon. Now, I had some shenanigans that I have planned for Ninetales and Leafeon. And those shenanigans are Ninetales gets Drought, and my opponent, you can see his team right here. He has Hatterene, Excadrill, Rotom Heat, Chandelure, Araquanid, Whimsicott, Mr. Rhyme, Dracloak, Drapion, and Cramorant. He's brought Cramorant a lot in his past battles. I didn't expect him to bring it this time, and he did not. So I got that prediction right. I expected him to bring Hatterene, Rotom Heat, Araquanid, Whimsicott, Mr. Rhyme, and Drapion. Did I say that right? Hatterene, Rotom Heat, Araquanid, Whimsicott, Mr. Rhyme, and Drapion. Yeah, those are the 6 I expected, and I was almost exactly correct in those predictions. So I had Leafeon here to kind of sit in on Whimsicott, and you can see that we outsped his Excadrill by 1 point with most of our Pokemon. His Whimsicott was faster than a lot of them, but like our Ninetales, we outsped it by 1. Our Leafeon, we outsped it by 1. Flygon, we just actually kind of ran max speed, but I put 4 EVs into the rest of his defenses. But Leafeon was here to sit in the sun and get Swords Dances off and get a substitute and to baton pass into Flygon. Because if we can get a Swords Dance and a sub up and we can baton pass into the Scarf Flygon, we kind of ran through his team. I was debating on whether running Scarf or like Life Orb or something, because he could always switch in his Hatterene on our Dragon type moves, or he could switch in his Rotom on our Ground type moves, which would have been annoying. But in the end, we would have done massive damage to the rest of his team. So that's kind of the plan I had on the Ninetales, Leafeon, Flygon core. And then Girder's here. Girder is the MVP of this team so far. It's got like 7 kills, I think, or 5. No, it's 5. Yeah, it's got 5 kills on the season so far. Definitely leading the team in KOs. My team's KOs are kind of all over the place because I feel like I don't really set up a sweeper. I kind of just pick up KOs as I go through the game. But it's definitely the leading in KOs up to this point. And we kind of just brought it because it's just so good. It hits his Drapion. The main thing I wanted to do was I wanted to let him set a Toxic Spikes and like set up 1 layer. I switch in on those the first layer of Toxic Spikes, get a Guts boost, and then defog it all away. So that's kind of the thought behind Girder. And then at that point we can Mach Punch, we could Drain Punch his Drapion. One thing I do wish I could have done differently was, instead of having Bulk up here, could have had like, I don't know if he gets any Iron or Steel type moves. I don't know if he gets any Iron type moves. But I could have put like Fire Punch here or something to handle with the Hatterene. Like if you want to switch in Hatterene, I could have Fire Punched, but I didn't. I had Bulk up here. I think that was kind of a misplay on that part. I should have put something else different in this spot to prepare for that. But that was kind of the thought process behind Girder. And Ninetales was here to Will-O-Wisp things like we could Will-O-Wisp his Excadrill, keep it from doing a bunch of damage. We also outsped Excadrill, so if he wasn't sashed, then we could Oko it with Flamethrower. We also have like Will-O-Wisp Hex kind of going on. I got that idea from, maybe it was Under the Radar in WBE. I think he's the one that drafted Ninetales, but he was running a Will-O-Wisp Hex kind of thing, and then he had Memento, and I really like that set because it can get Ninetales out of there, get Leafeon in, let Leafeon start setting up, and eventually set up Flygon. But I really like this Ninetales set that I brought. It worked really well against his team. Aegislash was here, the same Aegislash I brought last week. Shadow Sneak, King Shield, Close Combat, and Iron Head. Close Combat took care of the it could take care of the Drapion. That's what it was. It could take care of the Drapion. It could hit the Rotom Heat if you want to switch in on Rotom Heat. It could deal with, I think that's pretty much it. It could deal with the Excadrill. Yeah, Excadrill and Drapion was kind of the main things that Close Combat was there to deal with. And we had the weakness policy set again, and we could switch in on the Hatterene, and at that point we could let him max flare through a protect. And I even called that out during the game. I was like, he's gonna max flare through my protect here and proc my weakness policy. And at that point we do major damage with Shadow Sneak and Iron Head. So it just depends on if Trick Room is up or not on what we use at that point. So that was kind of the thought process behind Aegislash. It can also helped with the Whimsicott matchup. It helped with the Mr. Rhyme matchup. It helped with the Dracloak matchup. Like, it just helped with Araquanid to an extent, but not necessarily entirely great. But Aegislash just had a really good matchup against his team this week. And then lastly we had our Lapras, same Lapras, our Assault Vest Lapras with Water Absorb. I could have ran like Shell Armor or Hydration here, but I think Water Absorb for that Araquanid was worth it. And then we just have Ice Beam, Freeze Dry, Weather Ball, and Surf. We were running Thunderbolt here last week, but Weather Ball actually changes to Max Flare in the Sun if you're Dynamax, which was really good against his Whimsicott. It was really good against his Mr. Rhyme, because his Mr. Rhyme was kind of a switch in on my Ice type and Water type moves. So we ran Weather Ball to kind of combat that. And overall, this team was just really solid against this team. I liked the idea of being able to pull off those Leafeon shenanigans, and the rest of the team just kind of, if the Leafeon shenanigans didn't work, the rest of the team was good enough to be able to pick it up after that and give me outs to win the game. But with that, I guess I'm going to cut you guys right to the battle, and I will catch you guys there. Alright guys, so we are here in the battle, and he brought pretty roughly what I thought he was going to bring. Now, as a lead, I don't know what he leads. I think I'm probably going to lead... I think I like Ninetales as a lead. And we can... I don't know, we can deal with the Whimsicott if he leads it. We can deal with the Mr. Rhyme, we can deal with the Excadrill. Yeah, I think I'm just going to lead Ninetales here. I power up his Rotom, but that's fine. So he does lead Excadrill. And we are actually faster than Excadrill here, so we can either Will-O-Wisp or we can Flamethrower. I don't know if Flamethrower KOs, but if it does, that's fine, and we can bring in Leafeon. I actually think I'm a Will-O-Wisp, so we do hit that, which is good. He's gonna Rapid Spin. He gets a speed boost, which is fine, but at this point I can just Flamethrower. So he's gonna set up Stealth Rocks, and we'll get rid of that Excadrill super fast. So Excadrill being gone, kind of good on our part. We don't have to deal with it later with like Aegislash or something. So I think I could just Hex this Rotom. I'm not going to switch out. I think I just Hex here. It's going to trick us probably Choice Specs, which is fine. So we'll just Hex again. I'll just stay in and I'll Hex. I don't need to switch out of this Ninetales at all. I can let Ninetales go down. Let's see, what item do we give him? We gave him a Heat Rock, so we can always go into Flygon here too, if he's just going to Thunderbolt. I think I'm going to get a Hex off again, because if I switch in Ninetales later, then, yeah, so he switches out in a Drapion, which I can switch, I don't know, I don't want to switch in Girder yet, because I kind of want to let him get a T-Spikes up. And he can, if I switch in Girder, he could knock off our Eviolite, which is fine. But I'm just going to Hex again, I think. So he does get a T-Spikes, we Hex, and now we switch into Girder. We can get a defense boost here. Or not a defense boost, a Guts boost. And I can just Drain Punch here If he wants to switch out, that's great, but I can Drain Punch. He goes Whimsicott, so I can defog here if I want to, and I don't think, yeah, he doesn't kill, which is good. We can defog, and then here I think I go into Leafeon. So he does go for Moonblast again. I can substitute here. Alright, so he's gonna taunt, which is kind of annoying, but that's fine. I'll just go back into Ninetales. And he does switch out. So here I can just go for a Flamethrower. He's gonna knock off, which is pick up that KO. Which means now I can go into, I have a safe switch into Flygon here. Well, he doesn't, he still has the Rotom out, which is kind of annoying. Maybe I even go into Lapras here. I think I'll go into Lapras, and I'll probably max Hailstorm. Try to get this thing off the field. He might knock off, which he does, which is fine, because we'll be sitting behind a Roarville at this point. So you can bring in the Rotom if he wants to, but it's not that big of a deal, because we'll just be able to max Geyser it. And if he wants to bring in Mr. Rime, then we can also, so he brings in Whimsicott, which is fine with me. I'm just gonna max Resonance again, and he has Protect, which is okay. Like it's kind of whatever at that point. We can actually just get rid of the Whimsicott here probably. He might switch into like Mr. Rime or something, or even a Rotom. Maybe I should just, I don't think Max Geyser's gonna pick up that KO, but if I max Strike, it turns into Max Flare for a Mr. Rime switch in. They actually didn't switch into Mr. Rime, which is fine. Now Rotom probably gets to come in and Thunderbolt, but we're sitting behind Roarville, so that's completely okay. The only bad thing is now our Weather Ball isn't boosted. And here I can probably go into Aegislash, which prompts him to go into Rotom. So he's going to Trick Room. So we make a good play here by going into Aegislash. We're just going to Iron Head and get rid of that Mr. Rime. And he goes Hatterene. I can King Shield on this. He might max Flare through a King Shield and proc my Weakness Policy. So he does max Flare through King Shield. So that's going to proc our Weakness Policy. He would have KO'd. So here, I can just Shadow Sneak, and that does like 40-something%, which is crazy. And I can probably, I'll probably sack my Leafeon here. I'll try to substitute and Baton Pass, but I think I'm just gonna let Leafeon go down. Because now I can go into Flygon here, and I don't want to risk missing a Stone Edge, but I think we KO with Earthquake. The only bad part is now we have to switch out on this. We have to switch out on the Rotom, so I'm just going to switch into Girder and sack it off. But we can come back in. We lower his attack. We can, or special attack. We can come back in and we can just Stone Edge with Flygon here. We'll hope that we hit, but he's not going to be able to do enough to get rid of this thing. And that's game. So a pretty quick game. Girder actually, it didn't do a lot this game, but getting rid of those hazards was a big deal because it discouraged him from setting them up again. He couldn't set up stealth rocks again anyways, and it scared off his Drapion a good bit. So Girder played a bigger role in this game than what you would expect, but in the end, Flygon is so good on this team, and so is Lapras. But him having knockoff on that Drapion kind of messed up our Girder a little bit, and also our Lapras, because I was scared to switch in Lapras on that Rotom without the Assault Vest, and he also had the screen cleaner, Mr. Rhyme. But in the end of the day, we picked up the win, and that makes us 3-1 on the season. And I guess that's where I'm gonna leave you guys. So if you like what you saw, like, comment, subscribe, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. See ya.